Eric and I just arrived at the Stormville Antique Show and Flea Market in New York. It was about an hour and 20 minutes away from our house. We have never been here before. This is our first time ever. My friend Wendy recommended it to me in January, and we've been so interested in checking it out.
Yeah.
So the weather is perfect. We're gonna see how it goes. Eric, are you looking for anything in particular?
No, just gonna browse.
We're gonna browse and enjoy the day. Let's go check it out. Here's some very pretty needlepoint. These could be made into some kind of beautiful project or wall art. It's nice to see a Belique vase. It's so pretty. This one has this sort of mustardy gold back stamp, so not that old, but it's lovely, and I like this vase right next to it. I want to get a better look at these cobalt blue candlesticks. They're lovely. The seam is very pronounced, which is okay. I'm just noticing it. Let's look at this a little bit closer. This is Francoma. It's a little picture and it's so pretty. I love the green color, but unfortunately, it's a sad friend. Interesting little bottles and other medicine cabinet type paraphernalia. I know there are lots of people who collect this. There's some interesting ones here. And this knife rest is great. I've never seen it in milk glass before. We have some bookends that are a little bit like this. Ours are slightly different, but they have a great look. And this fan vase is lovely. There's so many beautiful things on this table. What do we have here? This is a pretty bowl. Oh, not old. Better Homes and Gardens. Let me just put that sticker back. This vintage magic set is adorable. My great uncle Milton used to do magic and amaze all of the children. I wonder if he had a set like this back in the day. There's a lot of very pretty jewelry in this flea market. Look at the frog. Oh my goodness, that's adorable. These are pretty. I've never seen Ainsley napkin holders before, or napkin rings. $14. This little horse is adorable. $19.50. They want $225 for it. Love all of the painted details on this. This booth has some very pretty needlepoint, so of course I'm making a beeline over to it. No price on this. The frame is gorgeous. I might ask about that. Check out the artwork in this place. I'm in the same booth that had the needlepoint, and there's lots of lovely things here, and the prices seem to be pretty good. This frame is gorgeous. Wow, I don't love the painting, if I'm honest. It is signed 1925 maybe? But yes, the frame is really beautiful. There's this cute little arcade game. Let's get a closer look at it. So very sweet. This is so beautiful. This is all needlepoint, and it's huge and gorgeous. The only thing is I really don't at all care for the frame, especially sort of that gold thread running through it. Otherwise, it would tempt me. This is a cute little pheasant. He's got kind of an interesting face. I wonder what they want for this guy. $65. Oh my gosh, check out this print. Can you imagine being on the beach in one of these outfits? Like with the black tights? I'm sweating just thinking about it, but it's a great piece. This is such an interesting vintage clock with the horses. There's no price tag on it that I see, but I do want to get a better look at it. It has such a great sense of motion. Let's see who made this. Made exclusively for home interiors and gifts. Well, who doesn't need a pair of griffins made from metal? I mean, that's just standard, right? I wonder if someone actually took this thermos on fishing trips. I would like to think that that's exactly how it was used, or I guess hunting trips. Here's the bottom. This thermos has such a great vintage look. This is such a sweet picture. Look at her waist. Oh my gosh. There isn't a corset in the world that would make my waist look like that. This picture was taken in New York. It's a very pretty bird painting or print or something, and the photograph is cool. Oh, look at the dachshund boot scraper. This guy is adorable and so very heavy. We have a couple of different boot scrapers at our house, but I think this piece has a particularly fun look. There's lots of vintage Life magazines. I used to obsess over these when I was a kid and buy them at flea markets with my paper route money. Geek alert. Here's lots of really pretty china. This is Copeland Spode, Wicker Lane. Lovely pattern. And there's some Currier and Ives. Oh, this is definitely Johnson Brothers. I've carried this before. Coaching scenes, ironstone in blue and white. Let's take a look at this bowl. Interesting. This looks like Norman Rockwell. And this bowl was made by Gorham. I've not seen that before. And of course, we know this is Johnson Brothers Britain Castles because we just saw this pattern at Brimfield. It's such a lovely pattern. The bowl is especially beautiful, don't you think? This is a huge tapestry. It's so beautiful. It has such like an old Renaissance quality to it. If I had a big wall space, I would scoop this up. It's $95. I'm a little bit in love with this peacock stained glass window. It has great colors, doesn't it? Oh my goodness, could you imagine this prominently displayed as part of somebody's window? Gorgeous. This little Currier and Ives print is just the sort of thing that freaks out Eric entirely. Let's see if this one does. Eric, do you like this?
No, that's very scary.
Say it again?
That's very scary. I don't like that. I won't sleep for a week.
I love it. Oh my goodness, these hedgehogs are the cutest things I have ever seen. Oh my gosh, look at their little faces. I'm sure these are all handmade by somebody who has a lot of nice skills. I don't think I've ever seen a camera like this before. It's so old. Look at the cord. It's all wrapped in cloth. Fire hazard. Doesn't this have such an interesting look to it, like with the accordion feature? Very cool. I really like this wall art. This looks like it's wood with all kinds of wood inlay. It's very beautiful. It gives me like an arts and crafts kind of feeling. I'm checking out all of the beautiful vintage purses. There are so many good ones here. I like this one with the bows and the black one with the orangey red stones. I don't know what they're called. I think the black one is my favorite. Let's get a closer look at it. Look at all of the pretty embellishments around the clasp. Gorgeous. This sink is so fabulous. It's a Kohler. I love it. Could you imagine this in your bathroom? It would be like having a little bit of springtime every time you wash your hands. I could get behind that.
Eric, this is your kind of tent.
Yes, it is. But this has been smushed pretty. You got a cut there, bump there.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Rough life.
Very rough life.
This booth has lots of really interesting old vintage toys like this Scotty dog for $150. He's adorable, but there are lots of really fun pieces here. I don't often see such big collections of Toby jugs all together, and there's some really good ones here that I haven't seen before. They are so tempting, but I think my Toby jug shelf is absolutely full at this point. It's nice to see some British royal family commemorative wear. Queen Elizabeth looks so pretty in this picture, doesn't she? These figurines are utterly charming. They would look so beautiful on a shelf or a mantle, on a dresser. If you didn't have Destructo cats, you could put them on a side table. Beautiful. Here we have a very pretty collection of Roseville, all different colors and patterns. This vase is $185. I wanted to give you a little bit of a wide panning shot of the flea market so you can get a sense of the place. As the day has gone on, it's become increasingly crowded and increasingly warm. Right now I'm standing in front of a jewelry counter. There are so many lovely things here. We're getting ready to head out, but before we do, we might get a little snack for the road. I'm feeling very tempted by the gelato offerings, especially the Nutella. Will I brave the line? That's the question. Totally worth it. I can't wait to dig into this. Eric and I are gradually making our way out of this parking lot. And of course, as always, when we get home, I'll show you what I picked up. So let's talk about Stormville, New York, and the flea market and antique show we went to there. Iris is just gonna have herself a little snooze while we have this chat. I'm in the sunroom right now, which we also call the cat room. So I am surrounded by furry friends. Indy is on the cat tower. This poor cat tower has seen better days. So anyway, let's talk about it. So we arrived early because our hope was to miss the worst of the heat. But even by 8 o'clock in the morning, it was steamy hot. And like most flea markets, there was almost no tree cover. So it was rough out there. We were so glad we got there early, and we were pretty focused on getting through it before the worst midday sun came out. There were quite a few people there ultimately, but not so many first thing in the morning. Another good reason to go early. So when we first got there, we were a little bit dismayed because we saw a lot of what can be sort of typical flea market, not like vintage or antique flea market, just flea market stuff. So a lot of made in China, newer, sort of plasticky, inexpensive kinds of things that could be fun if that's what you're in the market for, but that's definitely not why we were there.
lots of like, you know, very inexpensive, like piles of t-shirts and things like that. And we were nervous. We were like, oh no, are there no antiques? And I figured, well, like antique is in the name, there must be some. So about halfway through, we found the antiques. Phew, we were so relieved. So the first thing I picked up was this Le Creuset teapot. It's a little whistling teapot in this excellent yellow color. This yellow color is becoming very on trend, which is handy because it's the same color as our kitchen cabinets. So I thought this guy was so, so cute. It was $5, and that's because of condition issues. So you can see there are dings in the enamel in 3 different places. You don't notice them when it's just sitting like this. So I had originally bought it with the idea that I would resell it, but given that it's got a lot of damage, I think I'm gonna keep this. And that's okay because it matches the kitchen. And I will tell you, the other day I had sort of an embarrassing hostess moment. My son's best friend, Peter, came over to stay, and in the morning he wanted a cup of tea, and he said, "Where's your tea kettle?" I don't have one. I'm not a tea drinker. I have a copper kettle from the 1800s. It's not really in working condition. It looks great, but I don't use it for anything. I mean, the hinges are broke. I wouldn't use it to really boil water in. So he used like a little saucepan and got the job done. He was perfectly content, but I was like, maybe I ought to have a tea kettle. Well, I guess now I do. And I think this is a really nice one. The same seller had so much beautiful needlework, like framed needlework pieces for really good prices. Oh, it was painful because I wanted to buy them, but they were really, really big. And Eric, who is the shipping department for Worthington Home, was really quick to say, these are too big and too heavy to ship for sure. And I didn't want to, you know, just wait to bring them to my booth for a time when I would have room at my booth. I just thought, if I can't ship them, sadly, let's leave them behind. But it was hard. The next thing I found was this really nice wooden box. I love this. I'm not sure what kind of flowers these are. They kind of remind me of pansies. I don't know if you have a theory about what kind of flowers, but they're so pretty and they're carved right in. I like this sort of stripe detail all around the front and sides. The back is just plain. You can see this is a hinged box. And when you open it, it has a mirror and the bottom is just plain. And it has a very sort of vintagey looking sticker in the corner that just says solid genuine mahogany made by Mahogany Association Inc. in the USA. So kind of cool. I do intend to sell this, so it will be on my eBay store. This kind of box looks nice in so many places. I've just put it on this side table in the library. I think it's really nice, and it's a great place to just store little things that you don't want out and about. If you want to store like some extra coasters, or if you have dogs that like to chew remotes and so you need a safe place to house your remote, it's a great place to do it. You can just keep little trinkets in there, whatever floats your boat, or you can just keep nothing in it and enjoy the pretty carved details on the front. I think it's a really pretty piece, very, very versatile, very kind of classic, understated. I like it a lot. Here's the teapot that I had previously, and I love it. I think it's really, really pretty. I love the old copper and the handle and all of the things. And maybe I could use this, but the hinge is broken. It's just not in great repair. I think, you know, that doesn't look, the inside doesn't fill me with confidence that I want to boil my water in that. I don't know, maybe I'm just being too particular, but I love this for the way it looks as opposed to its functionality. This, however, I think I can use in a really heavy kind of way with a lot of confidence that it's safe to use. It looks nice in the kitchen. Let me show you the yellow cabinets you could see. There are the yellow cabinets. It looks nice in the kitchen. You can't go wrong with Le Creuset, can you? It's a great brand. They make such nice, high quality things. And as I said, when I have it like this, you can't see the little dings in the enamel. So I think it looks really nice. I'm happy with my find. I really like this next item. So I found these placemats. Let me give you a good look at the design on these. You can see they look like an old sampler, which is a really nice effect. So these were made in Denmark. They're 8 paper placemats designed after a sampler in the Worcester Art Museum collection. So they were printed in Copenhagen and they were meant to be imported into New York City. They cost $1 back in the day. And I think they're really nice. I like that there's 8 of them. And I also like that they're in their original plastic wrapping, so really well protected. They're in perfect condition. So I will be selling these on my eBay store. I picked up some beautiful Lenox porcelain ornaments. One in its original packaging, and the other 2 just kind of loose on their own. I love these. I have a bunch of these because my mother had them. She loved these Lenox ornaments, and I know they're very kind of simple in terms of color, but you can see there's so much detail in the ornaments, and it has the nice gold thread, the nice gold hanging apparatus here with the fringe. So when you put these on a tree, they just look so simple and elegant and classic. That was very much my mother's style. So whenever I see these kinds of ornaments for a good price, I pick them up. I paid only $3 each for these. And the seller actually had a whole basket full of ornaments, and he said, make me an offer, you can have the whole basket. But these were really the only ones I liked. So I kindly thanked him for his offer, but didn't buy more than the 3 I just showed you, which I am planning to keep and use either on one of my Christmas trees, or I have a really big macrame Christmas tree that my mother made, and I have some of the Lenox ornaments on that tree, so they could end up there as well. I try not to make that tree too busy because I like to see all of the like knotting and detail that went into the tree itself. But there's so many things you can do with beautiful ornaments like those. There were lots of other things that tempted us. There was some very pretty jewelry. I would say that the prices were quite high. So that, you know, if they had been a little bit different, I probably would have picked up more things. There were some Waterford glasses that I would have bought because they match my own pattern, and recently 2 of mine have broken, which happens. If you have nice things and you use your nice things, as I try to do, sometimes you're gonna have some damage. It's just how it goes. So I would have bought them, but I know I could get them so much cheaper on eBay, so I passed. We heard a lot of people talking about not, you know, really caring if their stuff sold or not because they plan to bring it to Brimfield a few days later. And they had mentioned that they plan to mark it up quite a bit for Brimfield. So little insight into the pricing strategy for Brimfield, I guess. Yeah, and so that was kind of it. We had fun. I don't think I would go back. I think Elephant's Trunk is closer to home for us and is a much bigger market with a lot more variation of things, so much more merchandise to choose from. Although it's possible that the Stormville show was smaller than it might otherwise be because it was the day after the 4th of July, so some people just might have been away. It was so hot, so some people might have said, you know, I'm not going in the middle of a field in July, it's 1,000 degrees. And the other thing is some people might have said, you know what, I'm gonna hold my inventory and just wait for Brimfield, which was just a few days later. So, you know, that's the funny thing about a flea market. You only really ever get a snapshot in time of that flea market. You can go back on a different day. There's more vendors who have more inventory and you have much more success. You never know. And I guess that's part of the fun of it, right? I've been working on a room refresh for a while now, and it's time to reveal it. But before I do, let me just give you a little bit of backstory. I have been wanting to add curtains to the sunroom for the last 4 years, and there's so many projects around the house to do, it's just impossible to get to them all. I had really good intentions though. I bought fabric, I was gonna make my own curtains, I had all of the supplies, and you know, the best intentions just don't always result in excellent outcomes. Like sometimes time isn't permitting and life gets in the way and things don't happen. Making my own curtains often falls into that particular category. So it's just gone undone.
Lucky for me, I received an email from UniCurt Curtains, an online curtain shop, reaching out to see if I'd like to do a collaboration. I was thrilled and couldn't wait to get started. So first things first, I went to their website to learn more about their products. I should really warn you, if you love fabric in general and curtains in particular, it's easy to go down a rabbit hole on this site. There's just so much to see. Fortunately, the website is super user-friendly, and while I show it to you, I'm going to share a little bit about what I learned. UniCurt Curtains provides custom curtains that are budget-friendly and easy to tailor. You can order curtains in all different styles and fabrics, including solid colors, floral patterns, and so much more. I was looking for curtains that would go with my existing color scheme in the sunroom. At first, I thought I found the perfect fabric, but then it occurred to me that I should probably see a sample in person before I committed to it. So actually, I ended up ordering several samples.
When I received the samples in the mail, I was so pleased because I have ordered lots of fabric online, and usually you get like this tiny little swatch of fabric, and it's really hard to envision how it will look in a big space or on furniture or on your walls or, you know, by your windows. So I was thrilled that UniCurt actually provides proper samples. So you can unfold these and they turn into big swatches like this. Now this is enough fabric so that you really understand what you're getting into. It makes all of the difference, and I cannot overstate that. I can't tell you how many times I've ordered fabric based on small swatches, and then when I actually received the fabric, it didn't look the way I had hoped. To be honest, that happened with my sofa in the library. It's very nice, but if I had seen more of the fabric, I would have made a different choice, I think. So anyway, originally I had my heart set on this fabric. Oops, can you see it? Yes, you can see it, I think. There we go. It is so beautiful. It has this lovely, very subtle design. But when I saw it in the room, I realized almost immediately it was just too light for what I was looking for. So I ruled it out, and I'm so glad I took the time to get the sample so I could decide for sure. Then I picked out this beautiful herringbone pattern, which I really, really love. And this was very tempting actually, but I felt like it was maybe still just a little too light. So you can see this is light, this is a little less light, but still not quite there. So then I looked at this option and I really liked this, but then this was a little bit too dark. Oh my gosh, I sound like Goldilocks here. Just to mix things up, this is gonna be crazy compared to what I just showed you. I had a moment of being like, what if I got blue curtains? Blue is my favorite color. And so I picked out this swatch, and I don't know how well you are seeing this on camera, but this fabric is so lovely. It's much lighter in texture and feel than the others, and it is beautiful in the room. But then I thought the blue was going to cause too much attention at the windows. I really wanted the windows to be softer and to blend a little bit more, as opposed to being like very eye-catching. I didn't want your eyes to go right to the curtains, if that makes sense. So the last swatch I picked out was the winner, and it was this one. And this one is so perfect. So again, just for a comparison, I have the light one here. You can see how much darker this is, and yet it has more lightness than this one. So this was the absolute right choice. And again, enough fabric so that I could really see how it would look. And as an added bonus, Eric agreed this one was the way to go. Once I had my choice in mind, I was a little bit nervous to actually place the order because I wanted to get it right. And I didn't feel that confident in my ability to determine the exact amount of fabric I was gonna need. But I did not need to worry about that because they have a measurement tool right on the UniCurt website. It is so easy to use. I cannot tell you. They tell you exactly what to measure. You enter in each measurement, it prompts you to the next measurement, and then it gives recommendations along the way. For instance, in my case, the UniCurt website suggested that I actually order double the amount of fabric that I needed so that I would have a really rich and full look. They also gave examples of how curtains would look based on what kinds of tabs or backings you use, like how you plan to fasten them to a rod. And because of that, I picked a style I have never picked before. It was like a back tab feature that allows for really pretty folds and gathers. So I figured, I'm gonna take a chance and try that kind of different look and see how I like it. And I just wouldn't have even thought of it if the website hadn't been so helpful and been such a very effective resource. I also want to point out that at any point you can contact customer service just like online and get all the help you need and answer questions. Their customer service is very strong, and that's a really good thing when you want the exact right look in your home. The hardest part of this entire process for me was waiting for the curtains to come in once I ordered them because I was so eager to see them in the space. And I've ordered custom curtains before from fabric stores, and in addition to being wildly expensive, they also take usually at least 6 to 8 weeks to come in, which is a long time when you're excited to receive something. I think my UniCurt curtains came in just over 2 weeks, which is amazing turnaround time. So let me show you what happened when the box came. Okay, I'm so excited. I hope this is what I think it is. I think it is. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Really good. It's my new UniCurt curtains. I have been waiting for these for so long. Oh my gosh. They are so beautiful. Now that I've calmed down after my initial excitement, here are my impressions of the curtains.
The fabric is really high quality. It's thick and heavy, just as I wanted it to be. When I pulled the curtains, which in my case are actually valances, out of the box, they were packaged with such care. They weren't even wrinkled. They were ready to hang immediately, no ironing required. I was especially eager to see how they would look when they were fully installed.
Here is a before shot of the sunroom. You can see that we just have blinds, and the strings that operate the blinds are actually on top of the windowsills, and they're kept there with museum putty because I so worry about the cats tangling themselves up in them. So not a beautiful look. And this room is meant to be on the informal side, but I feel like the windows look so naked. So for the longest time, I've been wanting to address this issue, and today is the day we're going to do it. The worst part of this whole job, I think, is going to be installing the curtain rods because it's going to be a tight fit with our mini split. And in my experience, these things always end up being harder than you expect. So hopefully these curtain rods will work out okay so we can hang the curtains today. If we can't, I'm going to be very bummed.
Indy is very curious about what all of the commotion is. Eric is taking some careful measurements. And he's making sure the end of the curtain rod is as level as possible. We don't want to put too many screws in the wall. And now he's putting up a center bracing piece just to give the rods a little bit more support. This isn't an entirely necessary step, but we just feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that we can do the job once and then forget about it. Halfway there.
Now the bad part begins because we have to install this rod and we have the mini split kind of in the way. So Eric just cut down the rod a little bit to make it fit. And we're gonna see how we do. This is gonna be a all hands on deck moment. So I'm gonna help Eric and I'll show you how we did when we finish up. Iris is gonna guard the rod. The question we're asking now is if instead of having the two finials at the end, which is like a sphere, if we can actually remove those, put the rods up together, and then it will look like one continuous curtain, which I didn't think to do because I couldn't find a rod anywhere near long enough for that. But it might look nice that way. So we're just kind of seeing what our options are here. Oh my goodness, the job is complete. I still need to arrange these curtains a little bit, continue to play with the folds a little bit, get them exactly as I want them. But I am thrilled with how this came out. It makes the room feel so much warmer and cozier.
I wanted to show you how the curtains look in the full light of day. So this is the final effect, and I am so pleased with how they look. And again, the quality is fantastic, and I only wish that you could reach out from your screen and feel these curtains because they are luxurious. While Indy takes a little nap, I thought we would work on doing a full sunroom tour. So let's get to it. Eric made this built-in bookshelf, and of course we have lots of interesting antique and unique objects on here. And below it is a very old oriental rug that we picked up at an auction, and the cat tower that is so beaten up, but the kitties love it, so it stays, and our sectional and ottoman. Then, of course, as we look up, we see the beautiful new curtains, and I hope it gives you a sense of how the colors really tie in with the rest of the room. The door to the left leads to the outside and the side yard. It is the only conventional size door in our entire house. So this is how furniture in modern dimensions gets inside. They don't go through the 1700s era doors at all. We have these French doors left over from when this was a porch, and it provided great ventilation. We don't need them so much anymore, but when we open them, it leads to the library, and that can be a pretty spot for the Christmas tree. You'll see a little gate that keeps the dogs away from the litter box, and then I have this little bench where I keep all of the cat supplies, their toys and grooming tools and things of that nature. It's not beautiful. It's something I've been meaning to reupholster. I'll get to it at some point. You know how it goes. There are some pretty paintings to the left of the French doors. And then on top is a shelf that Eric made me so I could display all of my Toby jugs. There are quite a few here. And then moving back down, we can see this old vintage radio. Eric has had this for years. And we have his collection of James Bond paperbacks here and an old framed advertising sign we picked up in an auction, as well as this lamp that was a Goodwill find. In fact, after the cats broke lots of expensive lamps, we learned our lesson, and actually they leave this one alone, which is good. And then we have this great old spinner from Savin Rock Amusement Park in West Haven. I got this at an online auction. I really held in there with my bidding because I wanted this guy to come home with me. There's a Savin Rock banner above it. I enjoy this piece every single day, and it does still spin. There it goes. It was such a fun find. Next to the spinner is a window, and you might ask why a window would be here leading through the dining room, and that's for the cross ventilation that it provided back when this was a porch. And you see the kitchen through that doorway, and then you come to this big antique mirror. This is the third house where I have had this huge mirror, and I really love it. It needs to be raised up a little bit, but I need Zach and Eric to do that. It's too heavy for me, to tell you the truth. This door needs a coat of paint. For those of you who've been watching for a while, you'll know we installed this door to create an entryway so we could let the dogs out without the cats also getting out. This has been a real lifesaver for us. Here we have some vintage Coca-Cola coolers. Those are originals. And we have this pew that is pretty, but probably doesn't belong here. It used to be in the study. I even created the upholstered seat to go with the colors in the study. But I have a new piece of furniture there that I prefer. So probably at some point we'll just sell this pew or use it in some other space. And this brings us back to the curtains. So I think we have done a total room reveal at this point. My only question about the new curtains is whether I should have gone for a shorter length. But the reason why I went this long is because I didn't want to see the messiness of the blinds behind them. And we're not going to remove those blinds because they're really helpful during the daytime if we're watching a movie. Keeps the sunlight out and keeps the glare down. So they do serve a purpose. I suppose if I ever decide they are too long, I could always take them to be hemmed. It wouldn't be a big deal. And in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy them as they are. Having now been through the entire process, from browsing the UniCurt website to ordering fabric swatches to receiving and installing curtains, I can feel really confident recommending UniCurt to you. It's such an easy process for obtaining the perfect custom curtains, even for first-time curtain buyers. By the way, I didn't mention that UniCurt provides free memory training, a specialized process to help the fabric maintain its shape and structure over time. They also provide free shipping worldwide. So if you're in the market for beautiful custom curtains, be sure to click on the link in my video description so you can use my special discount code.
I am so grateful to UniCurt for this collaboration and for my beautiful new curtains. I absolutely love them, and I think they do transform the room. I hope you enjoyed this room refresh and getting a really proper tour of the sunroom with me. This has been a long video and we have not seen the fur babies yet, so I think it's time we went through the house and tried to see where they are. Oh, I hear one right now. Here's little Indy cat. Let's see, here he is. He's ready for his snuggle time. This guy is a big cuddler. My chair is very squeaky. Indy, oh! And here we have Miss Licorice on her dog bed with her duck toy, taking a little nap. Hi, pretty girl. You want to say hi? Oh, it's so nice to have a duck toy. Here's our next friend. Wilson's hanging out in the dining room. He's a handsome boy. We have now found 3 out of 4 of the furry friends. Our 4th friend might be the hardest to find. Let's see if we can do it. 1, 2, 3.
I cannot find Miss Iris. Where could she be? Look at my messy house. Maybe better yet, you don't look at my messy house.
Here she is. Silly Iris. She's hard to find because she's deaf, so if I call her, she doesn't hear me, and so she doesn't come running the way the others do. She's a good girl. Hey, sweetheart. You're such a good girl. I think somebody wants to play. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.